we're gonna. It's 6:32. This is only gonna be a language switch. Okay, just for our audience, we've been talking here about Latin America and the job market there. It's pretty much the same type of themes that are happening in the United States. We're trying to fill positions and good advice. But so I wanted to ask you before we go to Huang An, which is our featured guest for the next half hour. I want to first, Martin Giampiero. So you're giving advice, right? You're giving advice to the next generation here, and I love it because one of the things that positions people is trying to be more than what everybody else does. If you're in the same line, people are not impressed because they have 20,000 like that. You want to be a little different, right? In your case, people that are in your countries that speak English perfectly and can have a great demeanor, that professional demeanor, that dress and talk and know that you can throw them out there and present them and they're not going to make you look bad, right? That makes a big difference. So what's your last piece of advice before we switch into Talanta, our friend from Talanta? What's your last piece of advice to anybody out there? So go ahead.
From my perspective, if I can go ahead, it's exactly what Martin said right before we were going. And for those who didn't speak Spanish, you can get it in English now. Have your individual 30-second pitch figured out. You need to know who you are, what you can add on value to whoever is on the other side of who you're talking to. Know your skills, know what you've accomplished, what you will be able to accomplish soon. That's your sales pitch. Normally companies have it for their initial mission and what they sell. You need to have it for yourself. Once you have that clear, then you can pretty much open a lot of doors for yourself. Do the work when you are interviewing, when you are meeting with new people, know who you're talking to, do as much research as you can. Nowadays, we have all the tools to do it, LinkedIn, Google, Instagram, whatever it is you want to do. Look up the company, look up the professional that you're going to be meeting with. Make sure that you know everything that you've been doing in the past so that when they ask you questions, you're prepared for it. And then once you have all that figured out and you have confidence in yourself, because you also need to be able to sell yourself, it's pretty tough for somebody to close the door, to you in your future. And most of the interviews that you have and the experiences that you will have are just more opportunities for you. It might not be in the right now, it might not be that one, but trust me, give a good impression. Life comes around and goes around. You never know. It's happened before that you get a call back and then you can figure it out. No, but that's pretty much the main advice we can give to the ones that are starting on this, right? And to everybody that wants to try it.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I always say we tend to look at our strengths and weaknesses and say, well, I'm more or less good in all these things and I have to focus on my weaknesses. And I say, no, improve your weaknesses, but focus on your strengths, because people will hire and promote you because of your strengths, not because of your weaknesses. So if you have something where you're good, you're really good, make it unique. Focus on that. Be the best in class. Show your strengths and focus on and work on your strengths. We all have weaknesses, but the weaknesses will not bring you forward in your career. Your strengths will bring you forward. So work on your strengths. I'm good in these three things. Well, be the best, but focus on your strengths, not on your weaknesses. That's my last advice.
Phenomenal. And it's very true. It's very true. That's why, one of the things that I lack was, for example, I don't manage my day-to-day finances, right? Because I don't have time for the little details. Guess what? I married an accountant and she looks at the little details. So, and that happens a lot in teams as we start to build teams, right? I'm great at building relationships. They always put me out to build relationships, although I am a technical expert in global trade finance, right? I tell people that's why I'm a technical expert, one of the best, I say, right? I tell myself like that. But I'm also pretty good at building relationships. As you know, I have a few contacts, right? But this is what you have to focus on. What are you phenomenal at? And just drive that, okay? Because that's what's going to make you different, right? Well, when I met Giampiero was, when I met him and I asked him to join Apprentice Worldwide as a apprentice actually at that time. Now an associate. Now he's we call them executive team members. By the way, I'll explain to you what that is. But it's basically people that I think are executives, right? Just like us. It's just a little separation in age. But what it allows is, success. Success comes from your attitude. You always impress me with your attitude, positive attitude, right? And it goes a long way. I know you're a smart guy, but you don't have a big ego. That's another thing. Ego, we can battle egos every day of our lives, but when somebody sees your heart, all of a sudden, people look at you a different way. They go, okay, that person is phenomenal, technical person, likes to do the work, but has a good heart, And that is a great differential of people. At least for me, it makes a big difference to know that the person is humane, ethical, moral. Those things work out in a company culture, right? But okay, so let me transfer now to Juan and Chip, right? Let me tell you a little story. So Joanna Molina was one of the leaders from Talanta, the founder of Talanta before the intern group. One of the things that I've always admired, and we connected because we're in the same circles, is the fact that they were trying to get people to intern, right? Intern remotely. So finding big corporations or mid-sized corporations that are looking for talent all over the world, right? That's what the intern group started to do, and it developed into Talanta. And Joanna and I, have been friends and followed each other for a long time. And I said, you know what? We have to work together because we have a tremendous network of talented individuals that are seeking advice and, of course, employment. And as you saw, Giampiero Martin focus on the more experienced professionals. But what I know for a fact, you deal a lot with people that are starting. So tell me a little bit about you, of course. Ella habla español. She speaks perfect Spanish as well, but she's from Vietnam, right? And so talk to me about you, and then tell me what's the difference between what you do and what these gentlemen do, okay? And then a little bit about Talanta.
Yeah, perfect. So, well, my name is obviously Hoàng Anh. People call me as a lovely nickname Chip. Exactly is a name where that I introduce myself to literally everybody because it's easier to pronounce. But fun fact is actually my kind of like family nickname. So in the beginning, it just so a name that my family, my parents called me, now has turned into my kind of like my real name. But yeah, so I'm from Vietnam, like Hernan had mentioned. I'm currently living in Santiago, Chile. Well, actually, right now at the moment, I'm in Valparaiso, so it's like a beach city in Chile. And of course, remote work have allowed me to do so. Which is also like a topic that we're gonna touch on today. But like Talanta, we basically we are an organization that we focus on providing young professional or like last year students or final year students or recent graduate students with very limited to zero experience the chance to like get access to that opportunity, like work opportunities. And obviously with remote job, it have allowed us to expand our reach and expand our talent pools, dive deeper into different regions, and also provide as a service we provide to companies to give them the access to a talent pool that has been quite untapped before the pandemic, let's put it that way.
Right. So this turnaround, actually, I guess from before, what was the switch? I don't know if you can share a little bit what was the difference between the intern group and now Talanta, those key differences, so that people know, because I know that you guys, I guess, merged or converted or rebranded.
Yeah, so Talanta, we started with the intern group about like 11 years ago, and our focus back then was more in travel programs. So we provide students with studying abroad or working or internshiping abroad, but like physically in other country, and also give them the experience to to experience different culture, to fully immerse in the country that they chose as that they choose as a destination. Now with the pandemic and with the remote, and we find, well, actually going back a little bit with the models, like the intern group model, we find that it's quite limited to who we can offer our service and who which kind of like young people that we can help. So with Talanta now, and with the new program called the Global Apprenticeship Program, our aim is to expand this reach and to offer students, especially students from developing world that normally don't have access to these type of opportunities, like work internship, like internship opportunities, in international experience as well.
Excellent. And this is funny enough. So I see here that I have Donna from Kenya, which is one of my apprentices / now associate, and she was part of our summer internship program, which is a little different, because what we do is, for people that do not have internships, we don't want them to waste their time. If they're part of our team, we want to give them some experience, and we have 200 mentors around the world that can give them some experience, right? And then we did that, and then our mentors they talk one a week for 8 weeks about different topics. But we're not an internship organization, by the way. We are a global career development network. We're a network, right, of people that are talented, that are helping each other out in their career throughout their lives. No, so our program never ends unless somebody wants to leave. But since nobody pays anything to join, they're more than welcome to stay as long as they want, and we want them to succeed. We don't stop. Our global mentors, which are all volunteers, we do not stop in helping our people succeed. Why? Because we're nice people, number one. Number two, our mentors, happen to be people that we did business with in the past, that are our colleagues in banks, in my case, in banking, that I knew from before. And we, develop a vast network of contacts that we give, with time to our team members as well. So, and we do that, of course, they pass through a testing period that we do have an orientation, kind of like an interview. You guys do an interview. We do it kind of like an interview, but we do it to make sure that we have the right people to be able to recommend to different friends around the world. So, because we don't want them to make us look bad, right, with our contacts. But tell me a little bit about. So you changed the model, right, from vacation, internship experiences, I guess, combination where people can be in a country, enjoy the country, and at the same time work for a company, to now remote work. So tell me, what's the market for you? What are you looking at in terms of people that come to you? Who comes to you? And then what do you see in the market? Because now nobody wants to leave their home if they don't have to. It's very convenient. So how are you seeing the market, and where are you finding the niche for people to stay at home or stay working remotely?
Yeah. So obviously with the pandemic, we see that like a huge trend in the market that people are switching to remote, and employees are actually more interested or are trying to seek for more flexibilities to avoid like wasting their time commuting, and we see that in the interest of students as well. When we speak to students or recent graduates, that they are very much interested in these options. But now, and we see this as an opportunities, like the pandemic, the increase in remote world. We see that as a big opportunities as companies starting to open up for or be more flexible, try to change their workplace culture to adapt to this new reality. But for young professionals, especially recent graduates, this is actually an opportunity, but also a challenge for them, because opportunity in the sense of that they now will have access to, they can actually work from anywhere. They can still stay in the comfort of their home. They can still in their country, and have access to the opportunities that they didn't have before. But this is also required them to develop different type of skills that probably wasn't mentioned during school, and some of them, or well, not some of them, a lot of them come to us saying, oh, I didn't know that I need this type of skill set to work remotely. So what we do in Talanta is that we provide these skill set. We provide also, as part of what you guys are doing as like mentoring students, we provide our candidates with all this skill set that are super essential for them to be successful and thrive in a remote setting. So yeah, that is pretty much like the trend, and also what is happening in the market, in the both side of the market, right? Like the company side and also the student side, or the talent side. But there's definitely interest in both sides. Now, in the company side, is sometimes a little bit more difficult. Some companies are trying to return to in person, or even if they are open to remote, they are not fully. The remote opportunities are often limited to more senior, to like some more seniors, worker, more experienced worker, and for the for the student side, then the recent graduates, they are not prepared for it. So that is like our main aim, to try to prepare the students and provide them with the opportunities, and from the company side to make them understand that to stay being attractive to and stay competitive in this market, they have to open up and accept this new way of working, and actually give the students an opportunities to start and develop the skill set that they are looking for.
Well, you're doing a good job, by the way, because obviously you do know that one of my associations has a few people from Talanta, and they're doing phenomenal, by the way. A big shout out to our interns from Talanta. But one of the things that you mentioned is what are those things that you train people on that they require? So employers require what? And I'll tell you from mine, and you can add. The first one is, initiative, right? Initiative. It means that when there's a vacuum of activity, because you're not there with your boss sitting in the sorry, my dog. You're not sitting with your boss next to you, is, sir, how can I help you? Or ma'am, how can I help you? Is there anything pending, right? Is there anything? So that shows that you have interest, because in this remote environment, out of sight, out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. What are other things that people are asking for people to have from young professionals?
Yeah, interesting enough, communications and time management skills. They are the top two skill set that are very highly demanded on this remote working environment. Communication is in terms of you have to know how to clearly communicate your ideas, clearly, sensitively communicate problems, your advances. Sometimes and this can the communication problems sometimes are very related to cultural but not an issue, but differences as well. We with our program, we figure out that people from some country, they are very shy to express their ideas. It's not that their communication skill is not good enough. It's just that, like, culturally, they are not they were not taught to express their idea freely, or they were not taught like the self-reporting skills, like, oh, what should I should I ask this, should I express that, should I make a question about something that I don't know, maybe is they will think that I'm not good enough, those type of thing, and in the end, it's actually we come and I think that it's quite similar to what you guys are mentoring at Apprentice Worldwide, like to advise your members to be more open to accept failures, to ask questions. So that's something that we kind of in our training, we also helped our candidates to go through that, to navigate like how they can improve their communication skills, also like time management, what type of tools that they can use to improve their productivity, to improve to increase their productivity, and also to organize. Something about like remote work is that you need to demonstrate, or what companies are looking for is a high they have to demonstrate like highly organization skill. So sometimes like you can be quite organized, but there's some tools that can help you to be more organized and to help show other people to see that like how you're organizing, sharing ideas in a better way. So those type of skill set are the one that we encourage our candidates to implement on during their internship, and also to give them the tools that would help them navigate through the internship as well.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned the cultural differences, because, for example, I'll share an example because it just happened to me with Marisabel, who is the best, by the way, the best at the role that we were looking for. One of the things is, for example, deadlines, right? Like, for example, I had a deadline for today to make a decision on whether we choose a hotel for a conference, and time passes by and no activity from the person or from Marisabel in that case, and then she sent out an email and she goes, well, just sending a reminder that we need a response. So I think that what happens is you're trying to be too nice, right? You're trying to be too nice, and you don't express the urgency of the matter because you don't want to be a jerk. You don't want to feel like a jerk. And what I told Marisabel is, no, just tell them, the same thing, but tell them, we are meeting at 11 o'clock today and are making a decision on what hotel to select. Let us know if you can provide the proposal before this time. Guess what? All of a sudden, without saying that they have to hurry, you're saying that they have to hurry, or they lose the business, right? So there's so many things that are tactics about communication that make you different, and also allow you to be respected. That's another thing, that people think that because they're young, they're not going to be respected. And when I tell people, no, you just have to be professional demeanor, professional language, but you have to be persistent, persistent. Otherwise, nothing happens, no activity, and then no project moves, right? The project manager, for example, nothing happens. and there's nothing wrong with asking, what's the status? Do you think this can be done by a certain time? Do it in a nice way. So interesting that you mentioned that. What are the where are you finding most of the talent for Talanta? Pardon the redundancy.
Well, at the moment we find talents from all over the world, but not really our focus. But at the moment we have a lot of students coming from Latin America, and also from Africa. So those are the two main, because we develop a lot of like university relations with university in Africa and in Latin America. Now in Asia, there's still we are starting to expand toward there, but like because of the time difference, which is also like another problem with remote work, is that it's a big opportunities, but it's also a big challenge, like the time differences. Then yeah, we are slowly moving toward there, but we do have our students from technically everywhere.
Yeah, and I think from an employer perspective, and I'll share because we're a client as well. I mean, the association is a client. From my perspective, when I was looking for hiring, I was looking for, obviously we're trying to save some money, save some money. And if we hire people in the United States, that have zero experience, but they demand at least minimum wage, right? Then my budget is out of whack. When I can get the same type of talent, but it's going to be more least expensive for us, but they in that country they get paid more than what they would be getting if they're working locally. So pricing is a difficult thing, but is that one of the motivating factors for your clients? And what other motivating factors for your clients? What are they looking for that they can't find on their own?
Yeah. So for our clients, what we offer is obviously not also a more affordable pricing. Also, with the and giving them the access to like the best talent in the world. We also provide them diversity. So what does it mean? Like companies often just hire locally, but then, and especially international companies that actually have clients everywhere in the world, they need representations from that localities. So giving them access to, and facilitate them hiring well, not like we are kind of like talking to at the start point as an internship, but like the idea is that if they enjoy the experience, they can actually hire the talent. Then this will bring them we will facilitate them hiring this talent and provide them with diversity. And we take out all the pressure from hiring internationally as well, because sometimes for companies, they are quite hesitant to hire internationally due to various compliances problem. So what we're trying to do is to take out that pressure and also give them all the, and give them the access to diverse talent and skillful talent.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So what you mentioned is pretty interesting. So there's a wave, particularly for companies here in the United States, to have a more diverse workforce, right? And the big wave, diversity and inclusion, is the actionable item on top of HR management to make sure that we have diversity. Because diversity creates a greater interaction, more perspective, instead of having the same solution all the time or groupthink, right? People think differently. This is fascinating for a company like say in Ohio, where there might be a certain either Caucasian or African American. All of a sudden, you bring an influx of professional Hispanics or Asian that are not in that environment because they don't live there, and then all of a sudden you start noticing changes in the dynamics of the company because you're seeing different ideas, right? And you see that the people, one of the things that I am part of Alpha Kappa Psi, the largest business fraternity, for example. And when I was recruiting in college, for team members. I was looking for diversity. I didn't know that I was doing something that 25 years later it was going to be the thing. But what I loved about it is that my best friends are, I'm a Puerto Rican Catholic in the United States, and all of a sudden my best friends were Jewish from Atlanta, Sikhs from Ohio, my best friend is Chinese, Cuban, Honduran, and then what I loved about it is the fact that they love the same things. For as many differences that we had a lot more things in common, right? We had, we loved the same food. We went to the same university, and we started enjoying ourselves. So we focus on the things that bring us together. So I do see great impact that you can make around the world, trying to show people perspectives where there might not be that talent pool because they just they're in Ohio. I don't think there's very many Latin college educated and above, right? That just desire to go to Ohio. They might go to New York or Miami or Chicago, Atlanta, Austin or Charlotte, but not in the middle of the state. And that might be a different experience, right? So interesting. So I want to be respectful of the time. What advice would you give people that want to secure remote jobs? What final advice can you give? And also tell us how we can reach out to you, and who are the type of people that can apply to Talanta's offerings.
Yeah. So my piece of advice for for young students or young professionals to be prepared for remote jobs is that to actually start exploring different technologies, because companies now today, when they're embracing remote job, they actually looking forward to at least like basic knowledge of some communications and project management tools. So my first recommendation is to explore there, to get familiar with some of these tools, and then from there, some of them are pretty similar, and then you can develop there when you're actually in the job. And the other thing is like
so which tool? Like you said, the tool. What tool?
For example, Trello is online, is completely for free. Is you can use that to project manage, to organize your task. Slack communications system, for example, or Zoom. Very similar. It's very easy, simple, basic thing that you think that you obviously would know, but like there's still a lot of function that you can actually explore, and it can come very handy when you're actually in the job. And also like to really work on your organization skills, or find yourself like a system that will work for you. We normally suggest SMART objectives, like to set out objectives, like clear objectives, how you can get there, how like in the short, medium, long terms, and the timeline. So to that's one of like kind of like a tool or methodology that you can start with, and then expand on those other methodologies like agile methodology, research on it, have a basic knowledge on what are those like methodologies, and also on those skills when when you're actually applying for remote job. There's certain qualities that companies are often looking for. For example, you have to show that you are independent, you're self-motivated, you're actually a reliable worker, that the employer know that you will get the job done even though in a remote environment. And yeah, again, you're highly organized, because those are like the main qualities that companies often look for in a remote setting. Now, those are like more like, very detailed recommendations. But for our program is actually, we are open to application. I can actually send you the well, I will put down here my email and you can write to me and then I can send you the application link. But you can apply directly with us. Obviously, you have to go through like an assessment, like you have to pass the assessment because the program is completely for free for students. So we want to select the very highly motivated individuals, and that's why hence the assessment. But you can apply for the program if you are in your last year or you're finalizing your studies and you would like to start embark on an internship, and that and I can guide you through the process. And so just send me a quick chat or a quick message there to my email, and I'm here to help.
Excellent. So I think we have a question, a couple of questions from the audience. Nalisa, you have a question?
Yes, it actually was very helpful what you just described right now. It's related to my question because I'm facing a situation with the job market's changing so much, right? And the transition to the digital market, that there has been an issue with applicant tracking softwares in the past. So for example, companies, if they're scanning your resumes to meet certain criteria, and a lot of people don't even get to the top of the funnel because there's certain information that they're looking for to fill that role. So even your explanation just now of like what remote jobs they're looking for, that's really helpful to us as job seekers and for career advice, because we need to cater our resumes and the deliverables that we provide to the actual job and what the employers are looking for. And most employers are looking for leadership, right? That's why Hernan was saying, and the diversity and community that we need. But it's really hard for us to know what the information that is specific that we need to be putting on there so that the artificial intelligence is getting it. So I wanted to thank you for that. And also opening up the door for people to ask you questions in the future and work with you. That was very kind. And I know most people are so interested by this full session. So thank you for having it. It's been very, very helpful. Thank you. That was my question. Combat applicant tracking software issues. Like, how can we adapt our resumes to be able to beat that situation?
Yeah, well, thank you for your comments and your encouragement. It's very nice. And with AI and how we can or how you can, I guess, trick it a little bit is I think the first thing is to really read through the job descriptions. Is always like a first place to start, like to read through what are kind of like the skill set that they are looking for, what type of like the platform knowledge that they are looking for, because for some very specific roles they would ask you to know, like for example, knowledge of some CRM, or depending on what roles are you looking for, but like knowledge on CRM system. So obviously if you're in your resume, maybe you have a little bit knowledge on CRM system, but you don't really specify it in your resume, you're obviously going to be excluded from like automatically. So like my recommendation would be that, like, first start with that, read through the job description, scan through what are the main kind of like qualities that they are looking for, and also investigate a little bit like the main well, obviously you cannot know like the internal programs that they are using, but just to for example, if you are applying for a sale, like for sale positions, then for like knowledge about Salesforce, for example, HubSpot, those programs, like you can just mention names and I think the machine will automatically pick it up. So those kind of things, but you really investigate like what type of technologies are out there and are on trend, and that would assist your job. That's one of the things that I would really highlight. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And put it in the resume also, right? Take that information. Correct. Put it in your resume so you're able to hide it. But that's really wonderful advice. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Let me share a couple of things. First, take note, Juan. You see what I do here? You see? I put my QR code on my background. I'm going to give you a tip, okay? Because this is how people, without having to type, can scan, and you can get a business card right there. So this is, if you want to contact me, this is how you do it. You scan my QR code. So in the future, that's why I do it, by the way, because sometimes people are not typing and all this. But most importantly, Joanna is one of our newest mentors. You're considering it as well. You're part of our community now. We're not going to let you go, okay? Because everybody that comes to Apprentice Worldwide, nobody leaves, or at least, you know, the 2 or 3 that have left, they're missing us. But our network continues to grow because our heart continues to grow with good people. And I'm so glad that I found you along the way. And thank you for sharing your talent as well, your personal talent and your talent with me. I look forward to greater things from our relationship. So again, Talanta.com, find out about what Talanta is doing. Obviously, Juan, connect with her on LinkedIn as well, if you can. And then later on, if you have more questions, just text me. I know Donna asked me for the email, so I'll get it from you and your business card. We at Apprentice Worldwide, this is where we do. We help young professionals succeed. We've done it since 2014. We do not stop until they are successful in business and in life. And then we mentor them, coach them, train them, and do a lot of networking. We do have a lot of fun together. So, after they find a job, to us, it doesn't matter what job you have, because we care about the person, and it's like Martin and Giampiero, the ones that spoke before. These are friends of mine that I used to do business. Martin and I used to do business before when I was at Bank of America. They were my client in Argentina. He was the CFO for the largest retailer in Latin America. And, for 20 years now, we're friends because our relationship developed from a business to we care about each other, right? And this is what I'm trying to teach the generations that are coming up. It's all about the people. The people, if you do a phenomenal job, it doesn't matter where you work, people will still maintain that relationship. And at some point in life, this relationship will converge. And you never know, right? You never know the magic that happens as a result of building good relationships. So again,
Exactly.
It's all about the people for us.
Yes, no, I absolutely, and a big thank you for inviting me to this platform. I feel very, very honored. And very in the same line of what you just said, here at Talanta, we also have the people, and that's why I think that we have these collaborations, because in the end of the day, the people is at the heart of what we are doing. We want to see people thrive in whatever they are doing, and another tips that remote setting is that be very intentional, be personal, because we are interacting through this kind of like screen. Sometimes it doesn't feel very it reduces the connection that one can have. So be personal, express yourself, and be comfortable with that. That's something that here at Talanta, our team, we actually have we create small space for people to connect, to build community, to build relationship, instead of just work. So definitely hearing somebody that share the same ideas, that share the same passions toward helping and assisting people is definitely amazing.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, listen, I know we pass a little bit of time, but I always love what you guys are doing. And I do appreciate you for taking the time to be with us today from Chile, originally from Vietnam, right? And enjoying, our conversation online. For Shayna, Edward, Rachel, Donna, that were part, for Valeria, and everybody that joined online, and everybody that is looking at this through our YouTube channel. Again, thank you. For us, very simply, anything that you need, apprenticesworldwide.com. Just follow us on all social media to find out what we do, right? We're going to be doing a bunch of fun stuff in the coming couple of months. But we have an entrepreneur fair that's going to happen next month. It's all about building a business. How can we build a business, a side business, support the entrepreneurs, right? That's going to be next month. This month, it was all about the job market, how to find out opportunities in the job market. And every month we're going to have themes, right? And we're going to do great things with the academy. We have an online academy of courses that are free for our members. If anybody here that attended wants one of those courses, let me know. You go to academy.apprenticesworldwide.com, get it there, let me know. I'll send you the code so you can take it. And also we're going to have academy activities at the Center for Social Change, which Anissa is the director of communication, of community, and also for partnership for us. And then we, believe it or not, the academy will be in the metaverse in the month of February. So we have a strategic alliance with the metaverse company that's putting our academy in the metaverse. So I don't know how many educational organizations are in the metaverse, but for me, it's super cool that we're one of the first. And this is thanks to another one of our great mentors that has a big heart. You know, I love our mentors because our mentors, you know, they give me 5 minutes and that's all I need, right? They just have big hearts, and we wouldn't be here, you know, 8 years in the making if it wasn't because of all these people. It's a crazy idea that I had, and these people just, you know, jump in the bandwagon and say, hey, how can I help? And that goes to show you, you know, when you put big hearts together, anything can happen, no? So thank you, Juan team. I love you guys. Be good. Have a good evening. Gotta go. My wife has some food for me, so I gotta go. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Take care.
Hernan.
Have a great night.
Thank you, guys. Be good.
Thank you, guys.